Good evening. I'm Laurel Ford.
No, not ready yet. No, not yet. Hold on.
It was a practice.
It was just rehearsal.
That was a rehearsal. She just wanted to make sure she got her name right.
It says live on YouTube, but I don't know.
Yeah, not yet. We still have some additional work to be done on the back end. So I'm going to open up the webinar right now to public. Public will join us, and then we're going to wait for the CTV's confirmation, then we can start. Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Tony, Stephanie just sent an email that she didn't get the link. Stephanie Williams, I don't.
She replied that she did get the link. I believe. I'm going to look.
Hey, everybody. I am going to put you on air right now. Chair, you can start in about 5 seconds.
Good evening. I'm Laurel Ford, Chairperson of the Parks, Recreation, Education Commission, and I'd like to call to order our meeting for April 12th. We're going to begin by reminding everyone that this meeting is being conducted utilizing teleconferencing and electronic means consistent with Governor Newsom's executive order regarding the COVID-19 pandemic. The live stream of the meeting may be viewed on the city's CTV Channel 3 or online at http calabasas.com. If you would like to join the meeting, you can click on our website and the directions for joining the Zoom meeting will be there. I want to welcome everyone tonight for our meeting, and I'd like to begin by calling roll. Charlotte Meyer.
Here.
Julie Elginer.
Hi, this is Julie.
Negan Ghaffari. Okay. Negan may come late. Heath Patton. Brad Weisman.
I'm here, thank you.
Okay. And I'm Laurel Ford. So
Hey,
we're going
Laurel, I'm here actually now, Stephanie.
Stephanie.
Oh, hi, Stephanie. Okay.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask Heath if he would please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Don't believe Heath is here.
I thought he said he was here. Okay. Well, then how about Charlotte? Would you like to lead us in the pledge?
Okay, I did that many days in my life for 25 years, 9 months of all of those years. I don't know, do we stand for this?
I think we'll just go ahead and
Okay, please
say
put
it
your
in-
right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
In America.
and to the republic
for which
it
Which it stands,
one nation,
nation, under
under
God,
God, indivisible,
with liberty
and justice
justice
for all.
for all.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, the next piece of business is the approval of our agenda. I will need a motion, and if you could please state your name when you give the motion, I would appreciate it. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
This is Julie Elginer, and I move to approve the agenda.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Charlotte Meyer, second.
Okay, all in favor? I'm
Aye.
gonna have
Aye.
to approve because
Aye.
I have to go, I can't.
Aye.
see everybody. Okay, Charlotte? Yay or nay?
Yay.
Okay, Julie?
Yes, aye.
Heath? Not here. Stephanie?
Yes.
Oh, is that Heath?
Not yet.
Okay, Heath? Yes.
Yes.
Stephanie?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes,
And I say yes. Okay. All right. The next business is our approval of the commission meeting minutes from September 14th, 2021. Do we have any changes to that, or do we have a motion to approve as listed?
This is Stephanie. I move that we approve the minutes.
Okay, do we have a second?
I second.
Okay. All in favor? Charlotte,
Aye.
Julie?
I will abstain since I was not at the meeting.
Okay. Megan, I don't think is still here. Keith?
Aye.
Stephanie?
Aye.
Brad?
Aye.
And Laurel? Aye. Okay. The minutes are approved as written. The next thing is the introduction under announcements and introductions of our new commissioners. And we have two of them. I'd like to introduce them and have them talk a little bit about themselves. The first one is Julie Elginer. And Julie, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to be on our pre-commission?
Sure. Hi, everyone. It's wonderful to be with all of you. And this is my second time serving the city. I was on the Environmental Commission for 5 years. I stepped away. I'm a faculty at the UCLA Fielding School of Public Health. It's been quite a time to be in public health, as you might imagine. And I've also served as a gubernatorial appointee for 5 years under Governor Brown. So while I'm new to Parks and Rec, I am not at all new to serving the city or serving in an appointed role at as I mentioned, the municipality role or the state role. In terms of my involvement, Marty, Lana, the whole Parks and Rec team that knows me from coaching youth basketball for a very long time, for probably 6 or 7 years. I was the only woman that was coaching, and that was a very fun experience. I'm an avid trail runner. I'm a mother of 2 boys, and so I use the facilities often, and it's a wonderful opportunity to just give back to the city again. So I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Great. Well, we're delighted to have you on our commission. Thank you so much. Our other new member is Brad Weisman. And Brad, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hi, I'm Brad Weisman. I have lived in the Calabasas community on and off for the past 30 years. I have 5 children that all went through the Calabasas school systems. I care very much about our community. I'm grateful to live here and I want to make a contribution to it. I was involved with sports and athletics in the park system in Los Angeles and Beverly Hills growing up. I think I have a lot of experience and a lot to offer. I'm also a new ham, and I'm getting involved with the city with regard to emergency services as well. And I look forward to being a part of this wonderful group and serving our phenomenal community. Thank you for the opportunity.
Welcome to our commission. Thank you so much. And then I think I just introduced myself, which I have a new position, which is head of the Arts Council and Art in Public Places. And we have really not gotten started with those 2 commissions this year because of COVID, but I am passionate about art. I do art myself, watercolor and oil and drawing, and I do music, which is another form of art. But the healing power of art during our pandemic, I think, is something that we can certainly celebrate. And I look forward to having events again when our COVID numbers go down, and that we can really celebrate all the other aspects of the artistic world. So we will be making reports periodically about what we're doing both on the Art in Public Places and the Arts Council. But I am delighted to be a part of that effort. So, okay, our next is oral communications and public comments. If you would like to make a comment, would you please raise the icon hand and Trish will call on you. Do we have anyone who wants to make a public comment?
Oh, it was Stephanie. I don't see anybody else.
Okay. All right, so
Yes.
we'll move on to new business. Number 100. I'm sorry?
It's Charlotte. I think there was somebody who wanted to make a comment, but I don't think that they're here yet. Maybe we could come back if they do want to make a comment and just give them a chance to speak a little bit later on in the meeting, if that's okay.
Sure, you can do
Okay.
that. Thank you. Okay, under new business, we have reorganization of the commission's chair and vice chair. So the first thing we need to do is have nominations for the chairperson. This will be my last meeting running the meeting. Do we have any nominations for the chair position?
Hi, this is Stephanie. I'd like to nominate Charlotte Meyer to be our chair.
Okay, do we have a second for that? I'll second it.
Okay.
Okay. Does anyone else have a nomination? Okay. Well, then we'll take a vote. All in favor? I'm assuming, Charlotte, you are a yes, you're willing to take the position.
Yes.
All right, Julie,
Yes.
Heath? Heath? Are you a yes?
Yes.
Okay. Stephanie?
Yes.
Yes.
Brad?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, and Laurel, I vote yes. Okay, so congratulations to Charlotte. You are our new chair. And before I pass the virtual gavel to you, we need to select a vice chair.
That would be, Charlotte would take over and do that.
Oh,
No.
okay, so
Yes,
Charlotte.
but I just want to say congratulations to Charlotte, Commissioner Meyer. You're going to do a great job. And really want to say thank you to our former chair, Ford, for an outstanding leadership over the past few years. You've done outstanding. You're a great leader, and we were lucky to have you as a chair on this commission.
Thank
So,
you very much. Thank you
thanks.
for the kind words. Okay,
Yes.
Charlotte, I'm passing the gavel to you.
Okay, I got it.
All right.
Oh, I dropped it. Oh, let me pick it up. Okay, here we go. I would like to have nominations for the vice chair of the Parks Recreation Education Commission. Are there any nominations? Nobody wants to do it. Okay, well, in that case, you can
I'll
self-nominate. Oh, Laurel?
Yes, this is Laurel. I'll nominate Stephanie.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Okay, and I'll second that motion. So we have a motion on the floor for Stephanie, and motion was okay. Over there. Now we need a vote. Okay, Stephanie, you've been nominated. So here we go. Stephanie, I presume you're going to vote for yourself.
I am, thank you.
Okay, Heath, how do you vote, please?
Yes.
Laurel,
Yes.
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
and I vote. So it's unanimous. Congratulations, Stephanie.
Oh, Charlotte, I did not get called on, but I also.
Oh, Julie, I'm sorry, I didn't see your picture.
That's okay. This is Julie Elginer, and I also very much support that.
Okay, I'm going to put it as gallery view so we get everybody in here and I don't forget. Okay, I'm going to put gallery view. That's better. Then I see everybody. I work better with that format. Okay, so now the next item on the agenda is a report introducing the new commission student member, and that is Anika Kalano. I believe that Marty Hall is going to be doing that.
Good evening, Chair Meyer and Commissioners. Before you is the consideration and approval of the appointment of Anika Kalano to the Parks, Recreation, and Education Commission as a student member. The commission appoints a resident high school student to provide input on community events. Commission Chair Laurel Ford and Facility Supervisor Amy Haber interviewed a number of qualified candidates in March before recommending Anika to the position. So what we will need is a motion to approve her and a vote. And back to you, Chair Meyer.
Would she like to present some information about herself and introduce herself to the commission before we vote?
I can do that.
Just a,
All right.
we'd like to
All
know
right.
who you are. We know you're just another pretty face, but we still would like to know more about you.
Thank you. Well, hi, everyone. My name is Anika Kalanu, and I go to Calabasas High School. I'm a junior currently. I've lived in Calabasas for majority of my 17-year life, for 14 years, and I've gone through a complete Calabasas education, started in Lupin Hill, went to AU Wright, now in Calabasas. I'm also a board member of the Mayor's Youth Council, and that's how I got to know about this amazing commission, and I'm so glad to be here.
Okay. Is there a motion to confirm Anika's appointment to our commission?
I would like to move that we confirm Anika's appointment to our commission.
Okay, that was Laurel Ford. And is there a second?
I second. Oh,
Brad, please, thank you for seconding it. Is
and
there a
Annika, can you tell, it's Annika?
Yeah, it's Annika. Sorry, I didn't make that clear before. Yeah, it's Annika.
Okay, so we'll do a roll call vote. Laurel, how do you vote?
Yes?
Stephanie?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Heath?
Yes.
Yes, and Julie.
Yes.
Congratulations, Annika. You are now officially a member of the Parks, Recreation, and Education Commission. You are a student member.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, the next thing on the agenda is a discussion and recommendation for commissioner placement for the following subcommittees. We have the arts, the events, facilities, and programming. And I think, Marty, that's something that you're going to be introducing.
Yes, Chair Meyer and commissioners, yearly, we always ask for a couple of commissioners to be appointed to these different committees, the arts, the events, facilities, and programming. And what we'd like to do is have you reach out to which ones you'd like to be on. And I'll let Chair Meyer start with the arts and see who we have. And Trish and I will write these down.
Okay, I think Laurel since she's in charge of the Arts Council, would be the most obvious person to be on that. But there's opportunities for another person as well, Laurel, right? Or
Yes.
not?
Yes. Yes.
If anybody doesn't want to do that, we can just leave it for now and then come back to it to see what's available. Do you want to talk a little about the events so people know more about it, Marty? I think we're talking about the Pumpkin Festival or things like that is what we're doing.
It would be generally any events that could come before us. It would be the Pumpkin Festival would be one. It could be lakeside concerts. It could be something else the council would like us to do. Maybe as we come out of COVID pandemic, there has been some talk of maybe some kind of all city event. But again, that would be something that once we get everybody on these committees, I would like to meet with each one of the committees separately and go over some of the ideas and hear the ideas that actually the people who are on the committees might have for us, so that we could bring back to the PRE and possibly up to the council.
Mm-hmm. So is there anybody who would like to participate in that subcommittee? Julie, thank you for volunteering.
I also have a quick comment also that I'd like to make a suggestion in the spirit of best practice sharing across commissions. One of the things that we did very successfully with the Environmental Commission about 4 or 5 years ago is that we used the summer period to do kind of a postmortem or a best practice sharing within our own commission. So we held publicly noticed meetings, but instead of being in the chambers, they were in conference rooms. And during that time, all of us got together with our staff, and we really took a look at our entire programming that we were offering in the Environmental Commission and went through, event by event and said, what's working? What's not working? How can we improve this? What are some specific recommendations? And we took that entire summer to do a really robust analysis, and then came back in the fall with some revised programming and some revisions to our entire offering for the city. So I'd like to offer that up as a suggestion. It's already been done within the city very well. And it's an opportunity, especially right now, given the fact that we have an opportunity to really look at our programming and see if it best meets the needs of our residents, our budget, all those other kinds of things. So if the commission is interested in doing that, I would very much like to support it. And I know in consultation with Councilmember Mauer, she's also in support of that as well.
Well, that sounds like a great suggestion. And I think we will probably look at that in the near future. We have one more meeting before the summer, and maybe we could talk to Marty about that. And I would like to have a commission directed, commissioners direct some of the activities and see that in the near future. So I think debriefing about different activities that we have participated in and be a part of that discussion is appropriate. So thank you for bringing that up. Does anybody have any comments about what Julie has suggested?
Still need a second member on the events if we have somebody who'd like to volunteer.
So I had my hand raised to volunteer, but I also second, I know some of what went on when the Environmental Commission did that review because my son was involved with some of the subcommittees, and it was really useful. And we've been given an opportunity here in several ways to rethink some of the things we do with the PRE. And I would, particularly regarding budget and scope and who we're serving, I would love to discuss that this summer.
Okay. I think that we should have subcommittee meetings between our regular commission meetings because we only meet once, usually every 3 months, once every 3 months. And so there is some homework that maybe we can do to be more productive. I'm talking in teacherese vocabulary, but doing things between the meetings would make us a very effective commission. So that is something we should look at for sure. Okay. Facilities, I represent the senior citizens and the senior center. This position was created for that purpose. And I know a lot about the facility for of the senior center. And I've also have a little background on Walnut Park, which is in progress. So I would like to be on the facilities committee and continue the work that I've started. So I'm recommending myself. Does anybody wish to join me? Heath, you're our liaison to the community center. Would this be something you would like to continue doing? I don't mean to put you on the spot, but you are. Heath?
Yes, I would, Charlotte.
Okay.
So
thank you.
Yes, I would like to continue doing that. Thank you.
Thank you for offering. And we have a very important subcommittee programming. Marty, you want to tell us a little bit about how you anticipate this being actualized?
Thank you, Chair Meyer. What I'm looking for the programming is one to review regularly the programs that we have been doing for the last several years to get feedback on what we're doing good and what we can improve on, and also come up with possibly some other program ideas to look at for the department, and also to be leaders in helping us when we need to get volunteers or people for example, the Pumpkin Festival and things like that, take a programming lead and help us through the real tough, large programs.
I think that that could be a very fruitful committee. One of the things for programming that I would love to learn more about is the city-school partnerships, because I've been approached and I'm only aware of several city-school partnerships, the basketball one at AC Stell, the soccer at Round Meadow, but there might be other options. And the children have been home for a year, and we have a very close relationship with the school district, and perhaps that might be something we could look into too on that committee, if anybody would like to work on that.
May I just ask a quick question, Charlotte? This is Julie. And maybe this is better directed to Marty. How are you envisioning the difference between the events subcommittee and the programming subcommittee? is there an alignment between the two, or that would maybe help me just better understand that?
Yeah. The events would be, committee would be more of the major events that we have. For an example, that would be the arts, it could be the Arts Festival, a little bit helping out with that in a way, even though we have an arts committee, subcommittee that would be the lead. The events could possibly commingle with that in an area of the Arts Festival. It would be the 4th of July fireworks, and it would be the Pumpkin Festival would be the three big ones. But what I'm looking for also is the event committee is to come up with other ideas that the residents might want. Review the ones that we do for improvement, and also then new events that possibly recommend, and we can meet on that. The programming is more of our recreational classes that I would look to review what is working, what's not, what are we missing? Obviously, we know a little bit, we are missing our teens. We don't have enough for teens. So we might come up with some ideas in that area to promote and some ideas that we can go back to staff and look at too. Or, you know, the staff is always busy trying to come up with new ideas itself, but they can also we can bounce some ideas off the committee and see how they feel in regards to that. So the programming is really all the other recreational activities that we do besides the events, basically.
Great, that's very helpful, thank you. And then I would also just like to make a recommendation. Anika, do you have the bandwidth to join some of these subcommittees? And if so, this might be a wonderful opportunity for you to step in, particularly on the programming subcommittee, in addition to full commission members. I know that one of the most rewarding opportunities for you will be working, you know, with the commissioners. And so if you're comfortable and able to do that over the summer, you just heard from Marty that your constituency represents a really important group, and your voice needs to be part of those conversations.
Yeah, I was actually going to volunteer myself, but I just didn't know if I could as a student commissioner. But I would love to be on this programming subcommittee. I think that I could do a lot of good work, you know, rounding up Calabasas kids, Calabasas students for volunteer opportunities, trying to figure out what other events kids want to see in the city of Calabasas. So I would love to.
Thank you. Thank you for offering to do that, because I think we do need a student voice on the committee that's planning programs for some of our students who are in their schools. And Marty, you mentioned the word teens. I think there is a strong need. In the high school, the kids do have programs because they're involved in so many sports and the theater and music. But where I think we have a gap is middle school. And we have beautiful facilities at AC Stell and at AE Wright, big facilities. And I would love, like I said beforehand, some city school partnerships, because we don't have the parks to provide locations or facilities for a lot of the activities that we might be able to support. So is there anybody interested in working on this besides Anika? Nobody else?
So this is Stephanie. I'm happy to help, but like Julie, I think I wasn't entirely clear on so put me anywhere is my bottom line. I'm happy to help wherever needed. But as Chair Meyer knows, I also have a lot of interest in working with our school district and getting more programming that way. I don't have her expertise with the joint use agreements, but I can learn from her. So I'm happy to help.
I think the first thing we need to do is identify the needs, do a needs assessment. Get a lay of the land. What programs currently exist and what programs are feasible? And then from there, move on. If this is a direction we would like to take the programming committee, I think it's a good one. What do you think, Marty?
I think that's an outstanding idea. You know, and I think meeting with the committees in between our meetings, which are quarterly, will help us a lot. So that will be the plan going forward, is to meet with each committee members one time before the meeting, so before each commission meeting. And
I have 4 grandchildren in the schools, so I have a very big bias about this committee, and I'm very excited, and I will volunteer for it because I would like to serve as a liaison between our city and the school district. And I know Stephanie is very good, and we have Anika. We've got a powerhouse here, so I'm excited about pursuing this. So I'm volunteering myself too. Okay, so can we have a summary of what we've agreed to, Marty?
so far, on the arts, we have Commissioner Ford, and we have an open slot, so you can take your time to think about it, and we possibly be able to fill another person on that. On the events, Commissioner Elginer, we have 1 slot open there. Facilities, we have Chair Meyer and Commissioner Patton. And then on programming, we have Commissioner Williams, Chair Meyer, and our student member, Nika.
Okay, I would also like to indicate to the public who I hope are watching, we also invite volunteers, parents, grandparents, anybody who would like to serve in this capacity, please let us know, because the more people that are involved, the more likely we'll have a positive outcome to achieving our goals. Okay? So, and if anybody would like to think about it and come back and join the committee when we're not here, just let Marty know. Okay? All right. So the next thing, I'm going to turn the floor over to Marty. And you've got a wonderful group of people who work very hard for the city, managing our facilities, and they're going to be giving their reports. So Marty, I take it away.
Thank you, Chair Meyer. A little over a year ago, we got hit with the COVID-19 pandemic back in March of 2020. It was very tough on our staff and to be closed and be down. And we were the first department really to come back and get going at our facilities. And we have such an outstanding staff that works in the community service department that brainstorm constantly trying to live with the LA County health guidelines, trying to get Zoom classes going, try to get in-person classes if they can get going and things like that. So tonight, some of the new commissioners have not met everybody that is on staff, but I've asked 4 staff members to come and just kind of give a little brief update what they've done during COVID and maybe just a little look ahead, what might be coming as we're reopening out of COVID, hopefully over the next several months. We're very lucky that we've got to the orange tier recently here, and with the governor's announcement that June 15th he wants to be at 100%. I know all the staff in each facility is looking for the reopening, and we will be in constant contact with LA County Health to try to follow those guidelines to make the openings happen for our residents. So tonight, first I have from De Anza, I have Facility Supervisor Amy Haber, who's going to give a brief update.
Hi, everyone. Good evening, Chair Meyer and fellow commissioners. So just briefly, I'm Amy Haber, and you'll know my face from De Anza Park, and I work with an amazing team of people out of the De Anza office. Just quickly, kind of a summary of the areas that we're responsible for. We oversee the park maintenance and custodial and care of our 8 different parks. If you've been to the Bark Park or De Anza or Gates Canyon. We also oversee the rentals of the picnic shelters and the multipurpose room. We are responsible for a multitude of recreation classes, both for youth and adults, everything from art classes, music classes, Parent and Me. And we also do a handful of introductory sport classes for our kids. When I left De Anza earlier, we had a little 4 to 7-year-old basketball class. They were just starting up for the first time for the spring session. Those sport classes later, they can become part of our sport leagues. Thank you, Commissioner Elginer, for talking about your coaching experience. The staff at De Anza was excited that your name is on the commission now, and they send their best. So the youth basketball league is probably our largest program. We serve over 500, 600 kids every winter and summer. We also have adult leagues in the normal year that we have about approximately 70 different teams. Now, keep in mind, this is of course before the pandemic, and with use of 3 different gyms. We do oversee the joint use agreements between the 2 middle schools, AE Bright and AC Stell. That comes out of my division. We also we work with the fields at AC Stell, so with West Valley Soccer League and Barcelona, the soccer groups are out there. We additionally work with Tri-Valley Hockey League at De Anza, so we offer hockey programs. So we have a handful of different partnerships if we're not actually offering the classes or programs ourselves. We do oversee the Lupin Hill after school enrichment programs and classes. And all those teen programs, and I have to tell you, everything you were saying, I was listening and agree wholeheartedly. I am so excited to work with Annika based on some of the conversations we've already had. And I absolutely agree also with Chair Meyer on the need for middle school programming. So we are really excited about moving that direction. And then we are also responsible for all your major special events. That comes out of my division as well. So that would be the annual egg hunt, the summer concert series, the Fine Arts Festival, the 4th of July fireworks event, and the Calabasas Pumpkin Festival. So those are our normal programming prior to pandemic and what comes out of my particular division. During the last year, if you notice all the things I just spoke about, you can't be in large groups. So events went away, rentals went away, sports went away. All of the things that my division is typically responsible for were the things that were no longer happening during the quarantine time. So my staff and I found ourselves in a position of being more support for some of the other areas. So most of my team were either helping support the online programs. I know that Kimberly's going to speak a little bit about the phenomenal senior online programs we were able to create over this time. So my staff's been supporting in that. With the Tennis and Swim Center, we now have an online registration for fitness and for the pool. My staff member took a lead in seeing that project through during the downtime. And we were able to actually do a little bit of special events. We had a touring 4th of July last summer. We were able to tour and give out some goodies. That was during that time where everybody had to stay in. So it was, that was a new experience. And we were able to get the flyover and a few other things. And throughout the year, we were able to do a few grab and go. For the first time, we had an in-person event last weekend. Our Hop and Go Bunny Trail was such a great program. And we were actually able to see some of the families out. They came and walked our trail as individual households. And they were able to take lots of photos. It was really well decorated, and the kids got the greatest bucket of loot possible. And we watched all of them run around and then find shade on the park and have picnics and play with their jump ropes and their bubbles. And it was just the best thing. So this is what we're excited about. This is what we're looking forward to. This is what we do. So we're so very, very excited. I do want to share that events is probably the #1 people are asking about, and also the rentals of our picnic shelters and our basketball programs. So we are right now working our way through how that's going to work in the newest guidelines from the county and from the state, which are ever changing and kind of a moving target. Marty and I were having this conversation earlier, is we'll just make a plan and then something will change and we'll kind of shift over. Currently, we do have, we've already started taking registrations for the Summer Youth Basketball League to start up again. We have made the plan to be outdoors in the early hours of the mornings and or some of the evenings. That is our intention, unless the gyms are able to be reopened. If we did hear from the governor, there may be a wide opening. We're not sure how that is going to be defined. So we do have the option of going back in and we'll be able to run the league that way. We're keeping our registrations somewhat restricted in order to be able to accommodate this in either scenario. Safely is our number one priority. Safely, and within the county guidelines. Special events, we do anticipate having a 4th of July event. It will not necessarily be fireworks, but we will have a 4th of July program. That is our intention, so long as the guidelines permit. We are also interested in exploring a potential summer concert series again within the guidelines, and that too we're fleshing through. And then our rental programs, which we get a lot of phone calls for, we anticipate being able to start the reservation process again mid-May to then have the picnic shelters reserved starting mid-June after the wide opening that the governor announced last week. So that's kind of our target. And this summer, we're really planning to rebuild our other programs, as you were talking about with the school district. And our teams will be able to use the summer to build up, so when the kids come back to school, we'll be able to work collaboratively with them. So
fantastic. Amy, does anybody have any questions they want to pose to Amy? Nobody? Not one question? Okay.
I have a comment.
And then Julie.
Amy,
okay, we got a lot of questions now. Okay.
I heard the best things about the bunny hop trail. Thank you so much for doing that. I saw the flyer come across. I know that was really your vision to fix the troubles that we had with the bigger egg hunt. And then it dovetailed so nicely with COVID. So it was like your genius worked out for our little ones this year. But thank you. I just heard nothing but positive reviews of that.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Julie, did you want to say something?
I posted a couple of questions in the chat. I wasn't sure how best to facilitate my questions, but one of the things that I was going to ask is if we've considered not a modified concerts in your car, but some sort of like drive-in movies, or maybe a huge jumbo rental of a screen or purchase of a screen, and people can socially distant in their little pods. I know that like drive-in movies have really surged in popularity, as evidenced through the multitude of entities, the Valley Cultural Events. There's one through King Gillette Ranch that's been held several times, and people are paying, not that we would have to charge people, although we could decide that, we could discuss that, but people are paying $50, $60, $70, $80 a car to attend these events. And so I'm just wondering if there's an opportunity to give some consideration to that.
There is, and we have had some consideration already. One of our challenges was a venue that would fit the criteria, but we are absolutely open to looking at it a little further if that seems to be the preference. Our typical phone calls are actually pushing for us to open more than pull back at this point. Those are the calls we're receiving. But I agree with assessment. I saw your chat, and assessment is really the key to this. And
yeah, as part of, and that's my next comment, as part of that needs assessment, I'm wondering if there's an opportunity, to kind of dually through either the school, through, and I will defer to Anika or to others that are involved in the PFAs, if there's an opportunity to do a 10-question assessment around programming needs, programming interests, something like that, what people would be interested in attending, their level of comfort, some of those things. Let's spend some time right now developing that and getting that out so that it can inform our programming availability and offerings. Because like I said, I know drive-in movies, we hadn't thought about those in decades, right? And now through all of this, it's really re-engaged an interest. And so that doesn't have to be the only thing, but just, I think there's an opportunity to reconsider some of that programming.
We have purchased Marty, I'm going to jump in here. Is that okay with you? We have purchased a large screen. We've used it twice, I think, the seniors, and I will talk about that when I give my report on the senior center. We get a lot of feedback from our parents, because I'm a grandmother here, but we haven't done, to the best of my knowledge, a formal needs assessment. I mentioned that earlier at the meeting, and I think that's something we will consider looking at. My goal right now is to fill the gap that has been vacated by the absence of these organizations that have provided outdoor sports activities for our children. And that would be my #1 priority right now, is to make sure that these programs, like you mentioned the Tri-Valley, what was the name of that organization? I took notes down. Tri-Valley Hockey League. That was a big program. Mm-hmm. And we just need to make sure that we can reinstate that or something like it. We don't want our kids coming back and during the summer and being free to socialize and not have any socialization places to go. Yeah, Laurel.
Yeah, I think we've talked about the fact of having that subcommittee, the programming subcommittee, and doing a needs assessment and discussing through that subcommittee and having that subcommittee meet perhaps between this meeting and our next meeting. And that might be a place to brainstorm some of these ideas and bring them back to our next meeting.
The senior center does a lot of that. We have a monkey survey that we use, and it's really, we get almost instantaneous feedback. So that's definitely something I agree that we need to do with this needs assessment.
Right.
And we also need to put it on a fast track to get these programs in place. These children are ready. They're ripe for this. Okay, thank you, Amy. You are wonderful. And your presence doing your job has enriched my grandchildren's lives immeasurably.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
Thank you.
It's our absolute pleasure.
And also the seniors like going to De Anza Park too. Okay, our next person, Marty, I'm turning it over to you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have from the Senior Center Facilities Supervisor, Kim Post, who will give you an update.
Good evening, Commissioner Chair Meyer now, congrats, and fellow commissioners. So prior to COVID, we were running approximately between 100 and 120 programs in person. And when COVID hit, we were able to, within about 3 weeks to a month, transfer about 60 to 70 of our programs on Zoom. So, we lost anywhere between maybe 30, 40, 50 programs, which a lot of those were excursions and art classes that just are really hard to teach for beginners. So a lot of our beginner types of classes were a little difficult to transfer on Zoom, but we successfully were running between 60 and 70 programs on Zoom. And it's been about a year now. We was spring, summer when we were planning, and now we're coming up on spring, summer again. So it's an entire year has come to fruition. And, looking forward, we're trying to accommodate the 20 to 30 phone calls we get daily on when we're going to reopen. So backtracking a little bit, over the course, we also were able to hold 2 successful parking lot events. We had a parking lot bingo, which was a lot of fun. And our last event we had was a parking lot trivia, which was also very exciting and fun as well. And we're, getting to the point where I think the next event we do is going to need to be a little bit more in person. The seniors now have a new found freedom of leaving the house and going places and eating out and having dinner with people and, sharing meals with friends. So we're going to move kind of in the direction where a lot of things are going to need to be in person. So we've been busy this week contacting other senior centers to find out what exactly their reopening looks like and where they're at with that reopening process. We've reached out to Pasadena, Newport Beach. LA City is a little difficult because they basically provide the facilities and have, a third party agency that run them. So it's a little hard to get a hold of them. We've reached out to Ventura County, which their guidelines are a little bit different from LA County. So we're trying to stick with more of the LA County facilities to kind of gear where they're at. But a lot of them are open and are at 25% capacity, 50% capacity. By summer, it's kind of the unknown. So we're just trying to kind of prepare ourselves. So we're taking a look at our program that we already have, scheduled to kind of see if the rooms can accommodate them for any kind of restrictions for space. So we're checking with library to make sure that they don't have any programs in the Founders Hall that they, anticipate needing the facility for. So we looked at scheduling, made sure that worked out, and now we're checking with the instructors to see if they're comfortable coming back. So we've already done that. We're completing that. And then we're going to send out surveys. The final phase is, that'll be interesting because we asked Newport, Pasadena, they did a survey and 80% of their participants wanted to come back to in-person classes. So it'll be interesting to see how our residents, feel. And then, take a look at maybe still keeping some classes on Zoom. There's a lot of classes that we realized, did very well. And, we had some room constraints with size and parking lot issues that now we can, if we continue that class on Zoom, we can accommodate more people. People can take them all across the nation. So, some things actually we learned do very well on Zoom and may actually stay on Zoom for a long time. And especially with, if we can be at 50% capacity and you stay on Zoom, we can accommodate more people that way until we're able to come back to in person. So I think a combination of most in person and then having some on Zoom, I think people will be a little more, like they're okay with that. Because I think right now there's a little bit of Zoom fatigue going. And so if you had to take, a handful of classes on Zoom, I think people will be a little more willing to do that versus everything that you do all day long is on Zoom. So that's kind of the direction that we're heading. And we're trying to open sometime about maybe mid to late June, maybe like 3rd, 4th week of June, maybe early July. So that's kind of the anticipation. So Julie, you had a question?
Hi, Kim. Nice to see you.
I know, Mike. I know, Julie.
I had one quick question, and that is around, and I apologize, I don't know this. Do you record all of your Zoom sessions?
We don't. Sometimes we do on like the single session ones where if somebody were to miss it, we can record it, but we just don't have if you record it, you can only keep it on for so long. I think it's like the amount of space it takes up on Zoom or, so that's kind of where we're having some difficulty is with that.
One of the things I learned through this, because I'm teaching, I've spent the last year teaching my UCLA students online, is that a terrific feature, if you record it, is that you can turn the captions on. And so particularly for your seniors that may have difficulty hearing, or for anyone that may have difficulty hearing, I wanted to make sure that that was at least top of mind in terms of increasing accessibility to these classes for anyone who may need that. It has been a huge benefit for many of my students who have difficulty with hearing. And so I just wanted to make sure.
We have that option, and it's been advertised in their newsletter, and that closed captioning is available. We want them to reach out to us because I'm not sure if the version that you were using, once you set it up, the entire class is on closed captioning, and then people need to opt out. So I don't know if you were using that version, so we're having to, most of the people are wanting to opt out, and we're teaching them, how to basically use the button to opt out of it. So we've basically, instead of just doing every class, we're announcing that if you need any closed captioning or any, to notify us, that way we know that particular class we can set up to be in closed caption. So we spent lots of time researching that and holding meetings and test meetings and testing certain classes, to see whether it works out well or not. The fitness classes are a little tough, but a lot of the other classes it worked out very well with. Anybody else? Okay, well, we'll see what the future, we're just kind of waiting on the county to determine, what those guidelines are. And it'll be interesting to see how those surveys come out to kind of guide where everyone's comfort level is. But we're looking forward to moving and, getting past this pandemic and people, opening up the world and, getting out and about. So
Does anybody have any further questions for Kimberly? Any more questions? Okay, Marty, you want to introduce our next speaker?
Meyer. Next up from the Tennis and Swim Center, I have Recreation Supervisor Rain Kishimoto, who will give the update.
Good evening, Commissioners and Chair Meyer. Congratulations. Well deserved. Long time no see, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Let's see. Tennis and swim. It's been a learning process. It's been a process of constant change. Pre-COVID, we had our fearless leader, Debbie Gonzalez, managing the facility. And unfortunately, we were shut down with COVID back in March towards the end of her reign here with the city of Calabasas. So it was hard, shutting down, going from, just full on tennis camps where we have 100 to 250 kids coming through a day with clinics and up to 90 to 95 fitness classes a week. Private training, and then the pool just busting at the seams, to being completely shut down for a handful of months. And then we did come back in May, about 3-4 weeks before Debbie Gonzalez actually retired, to come back with the COVID restrictions for tennis only. So we were able to work with Chelsea and Terry Secondino and myself, as well as Debbie, to set up a COVID safe tennis program with Steve. It started with a lot of restrictions. We want to make sure we were kind of on the conservative side. We wanted to establish a safe and healthy environment for all of our guests, being that was the first section of the facility that was opened. And as time went on, restrictions did loosen. We were able to go from singles play to doubles play, to eventually adding tennis lessons. And now we're currently hosting clinics as well, and looking to have a summer program or a summer camp with our tennis kids. As of now, I think we have, about 594 people already registered for our summer. So we're looking to having another successful summer through our tennis programs. Our fitness programs went from 90 classes a week with our large group classes to down to 45 right now. Looking to have that grow between now and summer, and bringing back our staff as well for those classes. Right now, we're pretty much not, I wouldn't say a skeleton crew, but a beefy skeleton crew for those classes, working within the restrictions. And then with our aquatics, like I said, it's working with the restrictions. There's a load of restrictions county gave us for each section of the facility. I could go on and on for each section, but I'll lose you guys. Dinner's coming up, bedtimes are coming up. There's a lot for each section, and I'll save you from those. But the gist of it is, each section has their own process of reserving your gym or your pool or your tennis court in such a way where we keep you safe. We want to make it dummy proof for all of our guests, where as soon as you walk in, you're greeted, you have your temperature taken, you check on your reservation, you enter whichever area of the facility that you have for that limited time. You enjoy that time because you see staff constantly cleaning, checking you in. But the positive that came out of all this is that the staff now, because of the check-in system, either by our new Jonas membership upgrade or just the old school pen and paper that we have, our staff knows our members by name. So they could greet you like, hey, Marty, you got the 8 o'clock. All right, buddy. What are we doing today? Are we doing back and buys? You know, hey, Marty, you're in lane 3. So the interaction between the staff and the membership has become that much closer. The members are a lot more appreciative of the staff because they see they're constantly checking them in. They're on a name, basis, just constantly cleaning. And the staff have made sure that they create, again, that healthy, safe environment for our members. But backing up, we also had to make it a safe and healthy environment for our staff. A lot of our staff are in their mid-20s down to 16. So coming into COVID or opening up, even with the restrictions, we had to make sure that our staff felt safe. We had to make sure that the parents of our staff felt safe. That was restrictive in the beginning, but as parents learned what the kids were doing, kids as in staff, they felt a little bit more and more comfortable. So it went from maybe working 1 or 2 shifts a week to, okay, now they're pretty much back working anywhere between, 3 to 5 shifts a week. So we're able to do that. Staffing is an issue. I mean, like at all of our facilities, because of the pandemic or, receiving unemployment and all that good stuff. But we are building a strong foundation. We're looking to rebuild. We're looking to grow again. Which is it's a normal thing here at Tennis and Swim, because we get the kids when they're 15, 16, they go through high school, they go, they're ready for college. So it's just another stepping stone. We're ready for it, and we're looking forward to opening on a conservative level. I still want to maintain the temperature checking, the constant cleaning, because I think our members and our guests here feel a lot more safer when they come in here. We keep getting the compliment or the nickname of the poster child of COVID. Our inspector, was the first one that commented on that. Our members, definitely are commenting, complimenting, and very appreciative of that. So I'm hoping to continue that looking forward. And we're definitely looking forward to opening up the pool to swim lessons. Definitely, because we definitely missed that last year. It is a life skill. We want to get back. We're looking forward to opening up the fitness area from 10% to 25%, and so on and so forth from there. And we're definitely looking forward to working with Amy Haber, that stranger over there, in doing the events. All staff, all hourly staff, myself included, love working events and have missed working the events, and definitely, there's my friend there, definitely are looking forward to getting back into action with that. So shout out to you, Ames. Anywhere we can help, we are there.
Okay, thank you. I would just like to add that the seniors are anxiously awaiting for the aquafit classes.
Oh, definitely, every day.
Okay, you hear that every day. Good, I'm glad, because I noticed that you turned around the lanes and made them more horizontal than vertical, and that just shortened the lanes and allowed more people to participate. So I'm looking forward to walking in one day and seeing that we have our aquafit classes in session. So thank you.
Fingers crossed.
Marty, is there anybody else you would like to, who's here right now? We have Little Learners.
Yes, I do. I would like to now go to Creekside Park, and we have Bridget Nelson, who's the owner of Little Learners, is going to come on and give an update on the preschool. Bridget is a contractor, but many, many years ago was a staff member, and I can still consider her staff and part of the community services team. So I'll turn it over to Bridget.
Hello, Chair Meyer and regular members of the PRE. Hi, Annika. long time no see. I've known her since she was
Been
in
a long
kindergarten.
time.
Yes. So a long, long time. She came to Camp Calabasas at Lupin Hill and our summer camps. And so her brother as well. So it's nice to see you on the commission. We have a lot going on at Creekside Park with the preschool. There's been a lot of changes over the past year. So we are thankfully on the uptick, headed in the right direction with enrollment and our families. The guidelines for early childhood are very strenuous. In December, all of our children were required to start wearing masks on a daily basis if they were over 24 months. So getting a 2-year-old to wear a mask was very fun. And they're still required to wear them when they're not eating, drinking, or napping. So that's been something that the kids have just kind of fallen into. They have little sayings now within the classrooms to tuck their noses in and little songs with teddy bears and things. So it's going remarkably well. Our enrollment last August was at 66, which was our high from when we reopened in June of 2020, which was about 27 children. And right now, this month, we are at 92 children. So we are headed back towards the 115, which is the licensed capacity. Right now, the changes for early childhood and child care is that we need to maintain a stable group. So we still have a small cohort in each classroom, 2 teachers, but hopefully things will loosen up as time goes on. Most of our teachers are vaccinated now. I've had both my shots. A lot of the staff have gone through both of theirs, and a couple more are waiting for their appointments in about a week, and then we'll be good to go on that. On the Camp Calabasas front up at Lupin Hill, we have a different kind of after school program. It's an all-day program. So when the school reopened with the cohorts, we had to adapt to that kind of childcare model. So we have children who come to us, then they go to school, then they might come back to us. It kind of varies based on what their school attendance is. And we have children kindergarten through 5th grade attending. And we're looking forward to summer camp and hopefully a fun process for the kids to get out of the Zoom model and get back into playing and running around.
Anybody have any questions? I would just like to say thank you for being so flexible. The challenge has been for anybody with childcare or education to be able to roll with the punches. So that's appreciated.
Thank you.
Okay. What's up?
Mayor, if I could just jump in for a second. I'd like to thank the 4 who presented tonight for outstanding updates. They did a great job tonight. And again, I'd like to just give a shout out to the entire community services team, both the full-time staff and the part-time staff. I'm one of the luckiest guys in the city to be able to work with such wonderful, wonderful people. And I just want them to know that they're appreciated, and I think the world of them. So thank you for letting me say that.
Okay, you're welcome. I would just like to add one thing. We're looking forward to making some of the registration forms on the city's website more user-friendly. Some of the seniors and the feedback I've gotten even from people who aren't seniors are having some challenges to find the sign up, the registration places on the city's website. And I know that the city is looking into how to make those more user-friendly. So that's something I just want to make sure that the RAIN is aware that that's been brought up. Thank you. Okay, the Arts Council report. I guess that would be Laurel.
Charlotte, before you leave, I had my hand raised. You may not have seen it. So I just wanted to ask, that's okay. I know, trust me, I know that when you are facilitating meetings on Zoom, it is very challenging. So I completely understand. I wanted to just ask the staff 2 questions since it was under Marty's purview. The first is any update on whether we will have a beach bus for our teens this year that people might be able to use and what that would look like?
I'm under the impression that there will not be a beach bus this year.
Okay. I think should probably start thinking about some messaging around that, you know, and now if whatever the announcements or whatever the decision is going to be made, to make sure that parents are aware of that. Because I think the beach is somewhere that people feel pretty comfortable having their kids. And if that transportation is not going to be taking place, we just need to start to let people know that. So that would be one piece of advice that I would like to offer.
Great suggestion.
The second question is to all of the staff, and I'll just direct it to Marty. And one thing that I used to ask Alex Farsadi often is, how can the commission best support you? And I would like to just ask that, and if you don't have an answer right now, that's fine, but I'd really like to offer as a open item that if there's an opportunity for the commission, whether it's our committees or us as individuals, to best support you, I'd like to really explore how we can make that happen.
Appreciate that. That's a great question. And I think one of the starts that at least we will do and will help for better communication back and forth is by meeting with each committee prior to each meeting. So I will get to meet with everybody in individually or in a group of two or the programming committee 3 and discuss the different areas of the community services department. I think that's going to help a lot. Yes, there's been some changes here and some things. I do want to rely on each one of you to ask advice and different ideas when it comes up. But I think we'll start slowly. Our next meeting, I believe, is going to be in June. I think it's like the 12th or something. But let's start with me getting the opportunity to meet with each one of the committees. And when I meet with you, you can bring up some other ideas and things like that. But I do appreciate, I would like to move toward that direction. And thank you for that suggestion.
Okay. We're looking at the agenda. We're now at committee reports, and we have the Arts Council. Laurel, did you want to say something?
Well, I have a brief report. I did meet with Amy by Zoom, and I have spoken with Marty regarding the status of different art events, the art fair, and the other ideas where we could possibly bring art into the community. I think that I'm not sure, Marty, if the committee is now fully staffed for the art in public places. I know that we've had some transitions personnel-wise with the city. So I look forward to having an update on where we are with that. But we have been bouncing around some ideas for not only the art fair, art festival, but lots of other things that might enhance art within the community. So right now we're waiting for COVID to sort of give us an opportunity to be creative, but I'm looking forward to an exciting year next year.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. Well, I think that you will have some natural partners within the senior center because we've been offering art classes for the last 5 years, and we've even had our own art festival. So I think that you will find some volunteers within our ranks.
I look forward to working with you.
I'm sure we will be able to direct some to you.
Great.
Okay. Next is the Community Center Alliance, the Joint Powers Authority. Is that Heath? Or is that Marty?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Marty in this case because there have been some changes over on that side. Correct, Marty?
There's been a lot of changes. Just to update the members and the public, if they're not aware, the Agora Hills Calabasas Community Center is currently closed. We are working, the city of Calabasas, the city of Agora are working through some financial issues and some maintenance issues in regards to the community center. The biggest issue that the community center has at the moment is the roof. The roof is in needed repair. It has leaks. So the roof is somewhere probably in the $400,000 range, 500,000, depending on how, if you just do the gymnasium side or you do the entire roof over the other remaining portions of the meeting rooms. So I think a decision will be coming, how we're going to proceed ahead with the community center sometime over the next 30, 45 days. Obviously, if we get the roof going, it's probably going to take a few months, anywhere from 2.5 months to 4 months to do the entire roof. We can't have the facility open when the roof's off and being repaired. So I kind of feel that we probably will not see the community center reopen until late October to the middle of November with that. So I will keep the commission apprised as what's happening with the community center. Community Services Director Amy Brink over to Gore and I are in constant contact about the facility. The facility is going to be used on the outside this coming Friday for the COVID-19 Pfizer vaccine clinic. This morning we had a little meeting just to give you a quick update on that one. There were 1,000 shots that were provided by Albertsons, who is going to be doing it. The same group that did the school district, and we are all 1,000 slots were taken as of this morning. So that's fantastic in regards to that. So staff and everybody will be out there Friday morning helping out with the clinic there. I think I'll have a lot more to report, and Heath and I both will. We'll talk about it at our June 12th meeting. We should have an answer of where we're going to be going with the community center. So Heath, unless you want to add something else, that's all I've got.
No, I think that's great. Thank you, Marty.
The next item on the agenda is the senior center. And I prepared a report for several reasons. It's going to be a little bit lengthy because we have 2 new members on our commission. And we also haven't had a meeting in about 6 months. And I wanted to give you an idea of what we've been doing for the last 5 years. When we started the senior center, it was a blank slate. We had nothing there except a beautiful facility and programs and a wonderful staff. But we worked together. A bunch of us came together and we created the most beautiful facility that is most accommodating and serves our senior citizen community, and not only in the city, but in the surrounding areas as well. We have 2 entities within the senior center that oversee the governance. One is the advisory board that is appointed by the city council, consists of 7 people, and they must be residents of the city. The other is called the steering committee, and we have about 30 active participants. They come to the meetings once a month, and we have subdivided. We had so many people and so much enthusiasm that we've created subcommittees within our steering committee meetings. And I'm going to tell you a little about these subcommittees so you will see how vibrant and responsive we are to the community needs. First of all, we have a club committee. And this is a committee that helps people who are interested in associating with like-minded people with their interests. So some of the clubs are, first of all, we have over a dozen clubs. Some of the clubs are canasta, photography, hiking, Scrabble. And any time somebody has an interest and they have other people that they want to connect with, they can come to the club committee chair and their committee and get the guidance they need to form an interest group or a club. And these are resident directed. The staff has very little to do with it. Another committee is the special events and hospitality. And we have a speaker series, for example. We had Fritz Coleman this year, and coming up is Lori Levinson on May 11th. We've had Canasta Game Day, we've had a Mahjong tournament, and we've had events at AC Stell that were already mentioned, the parking lot bingo, which was attended by 100 participants. And the parking lot trivia was about between 50 and 60 participants. So anyone who has any ideas, these ideas are generated at the steering committee meeting, and these are ideas for special events, and all ideas are welcome to be considered. Another committee as part of the steering committee is the Excursion Committee. And we're just completing 5 webinars to the Gottlieb Native Garden in Beverly Hills. In the past, we've had excursions where you get on a bus and you go someplace, but we're a little bit zoomed out right now and we're looking forward to doing that again. Some of our trips have been to the Glendale Center Theater, a tour of the Norton Simon Museum, the Ventura County Fair, the Arboretum, and we've even had July 4th concert celebration at the Greek Theater. If anybody is watching and they don't want to drive, they don't want to worry about directions or parking or buying tickets, this committee is right up your alley, and our excursions will definitely meet that need. Some of our seniors don't want to drive at night, and they don't even want to drive in the daytime. So we have a very, very active excursion committee. And then again, if somebody has a destination that they think would be of interest, we want to hear from you. Our city relations volunteers are the chairs of the steering committee, and they meet with the staff to learn about impending city council decisions that impact the lives of savvy seniors. And these are discussions right now about the pandemic, low-income housing, and the Clean Power Alliance are being reviewed. And the last committee that has an impact is the program committee. And this is consists of, right now, I think we have about 70 Zooming classes, but we've had about 100 classes and lectures that are geared to health, exercise, fitness, music, and art. These programs have been so popular that we've had to stagger sign-up days between members and non-members and residents and non-residents. We have a tech help that is free. We used to have a walk-in where high school students, Annika, used to get community service hours for volunteering at the senior center. And we used to offer it 2 nights a week and on Fridays after school. It's been a roaring success. Our virtual programs are very popular right now. They're offered and relatives throughout the country, relatives of people in Calabasas have turned their relatives on to these programs in New York, and we even have somebody in Paris, France. The summer registration program is coming out probably in July, maybe June sooner. I'm not exactly sure, but we are working on another set of classes. So I just want to tell you what the mission statement is of our Savvy Senior Programming, and it's, quote, to enrich the lives of Calabasas area seniors, not just our own seniors, but the area seniors, by encouraging an active community, emphasizing learning, friendship, and fun. And we are very, very grateful to the community services for helping us build the senior center and helping us run it. And we are able to realize all of our dreams there because of all the support we've received, and also all the volunteers who are highly motivated to volunteer their time. So if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. Yes, Laurel. You're muted. Should I unmute her? Should I unmute her?
Yeah, I'll go there and ask her to unmute.
Laurel, can you unmute?
I lost the connection somehow. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I lost the picture, but I had a quick question. Are you doing the tech support on Zoom now or
Yes.
is that something you're postponing?
No, we've been doing it all along on Zoom. We've reinvented our programs.
Okay.
We've done excursions on Zoom. We have art classes on Zoom. It's not exactly the same, but we definitely have tech help on Zoom, and you can make an appointment if you want help. And Stephanie Williams' son, she's going to raise her hand. She has something to say. Go ahead, Stephanie.
So if your next question is, how do you help someone on Zoom on how to get onto Zoom? I can tell you that the tech helper who lives in this house will do a phone call first. And Lois has been incredible at helping the students make these appointments, whether they need to, she works with them, whether they should be on phone first and Zoom first. And it really, like Jeremy would do this 24 hours a day if he could. He really gets a lot out of it. And they do sometimes start on the phone and then work their way into the computer. So it's a wonderful service for the teens and the seniors.
The kids get volunteer hours for community service while providing this service for the seniors. So it's a win-win situation. And I would like to just share some of my experiences being the coordinator of that program. When we first started, a lot of the teens were reluctant to even talk to seniors. They've learned how to talk to seniors. They've learned how to coach seniors with patience. And it's been a real learning experience for them to learn how to teach technology to seniors as well. So, and also, Laurel, our art classes cover pencil, acrylics, watercolor, oils, collages. And so we have a rich experience there. And also acrylic pouring has been a new class as well. So,
I have taken some of the art classes and they're terrific.
yeah,
Yes.
good. Okay, great. All right. So I think we're ready for the director's report. Is that you, Marty? I believe you are the director now.
Thank you, Chair Meyer.
Yeah.
That was great. Yeah, I just wanted to say, that with the COVID-19 stuff, that we are going to continue to, for the public knows, and that we are going to remain current with the changing state and county mandates that are happening as we reopen. It is my priority to make sure we open safely, and we'll take it as slow as we need to get all our programs back open. So please continue to wear your masks out there. Please listen to staff as you go to the facilities and follow the guidelines that are set down by LA County Health. The city is not setting the guidelines. We can go stricter, but we can't go less than what the county has. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there. And I do have one other little item I'd like to say as a point of personal privilege. I'd like to thank our former community services director, Jeff Rubin, for 25 years serving our community. He was a fantastic person to work for, and he did so much for our community. And I just thought he deserved a little shout out. Thank you for everything he did for his 25 years for our community and for the commission itself. So thank you, Chair Meyer.
Thank you for remembering to do something like that. I think that's very much appreciated. And I think you speak for all of us. Julie?
I just wanted to offer to Marty and the rest of the staff that as you are working through those guidelines, I'm happy to be a resource for you. I don't work for the county department, but because of my background in public health, I might be able to help think through and problem solve and some of those kinds of things. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I am teaching this quarter at UCLA, but it's all remote. So my availability, I'm happy to help, to the extent that I'm available, but I just wanted to offer that expertise if necessary.
Thank you very much. I'll take you up on that. So thank you. I appreciate that very, very much.
Okay. I think I entertain a motion now to adjourn the meeting. Is that correct? Is that what I do now, or?
Unless there's any future agenda items and requests, you would definitely move to.
Well, is there anything that we haven't settled that you feel we need to bring back? No? Okay. I just want to urge everybody to please try to meet as soon as possible with your committees. If it has anything to do with the schools, they do go dark during the summer months. And so let's try to get together, and we'll notify Marty when we can meet and move forward with some of these great ideas that we've generated today.
I'll have Trish reach out to each I'm gonna have Trish reach out to each committee member and set up meetings with that. And I just wanted to say our next meeting, I said it was the 12th. I was corrected. I should have just looked at the agenda a little better on the bottom. Our next scheduled meeting is on June 14th, not the 12th, June 14th. So I just wanted to correct that. Thank you, Chair Meyer.
Okay, and if anybody wants to attend the steering committee, I believe the next steering committee meeting, you just reminded me. I have that written down here, one second.
Third Wednesday.
It's on,
Third Wednesday.
it's always on the third, that's right, if I had to remember the date. The third Wednesday of
At
each
3
month at 3 o'clock. And please contact Trish if you would like to be included. You don't have to volunteer to be on a committee. It's an opportunity to just participate, get a lay of the land, know what's going on within the senior center. And a lot of people just come and to socialize or to just spend some time learning more about the senior center and what's going on in the city. Okay, so we don't have to have a motion to adjourn?
Yes, you do.
Oh, okay. Is there Brad? Yes, did you wish to say something?
I just wanted to volunteer for that opening on the events committee.
Oh, good.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Laurel, did you want to say something?
No, I was going to make a motion.
Thank you. Okay, we have a motion by Laurel Ford. Is there a second to adjourn the meeting? Annika, okay.
I second.
Thank you. Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Brad? Julie?
Aye.
Aye.
Laurel?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Some of them might want to talk. If anyone wants to stay.